Peace. What's going on, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tune on in before we start building. Emmanuel, what's going on with you? How you living? How you holding up? Got an important topic that we must discuss today. So hopefully everybody is having a positive and powerful Tuesday. Staying safe, staying healthy, staying productive. Justin, what's going on with you, man? How you living? How you holding up? Tavis, what's going on with you, my brother? DJ Elmo, peace, what's going on? Magic Rims, what's going on? How everybody living, man? Give y'all a chance to, tune on in, tap in with your boy before we start building. Got powerful information today. Very powerful. Some information that they may not be too fond of, but we just gonna address some things. We're gonna address some things. We probably gonna offend certain communities, and y'all know the communities that we talking about. But we ain't worried about it. We gonna say what needs to be said. We gonna state the actual facts. Calvin, what's going on with you, my brother? Everything is peaceful and smooth my way. Master Two, what's going on with you? Hertz 187, peace, what's going on? Mahogany Honey Queen, what's going on with you, Queen? Peace, how everybody living? Dominique, no doubt, man. Appreciate you tapping in. And just off the strength, off the rip, I'm going to give y'all the book that inspired today. The book of the day. I done brought this book up before, but I'm bringing it up again. Homosexuality and the effeminization of African males. It's important. This is an important book. Kendrick, peace, what's going on? Master 2, get that water fast in. But this right here, this book is important. It's motivating the topic for the day. This is an important book. Homosexuality and the effeminization of African males. Important. CC, what's going on? Max 701. Yeah, this snow is crazy over here. It's finally letting up, but we supposed to get some more snow tomorrow. So hopefully y'all staying safe out there in Little Rock, man. We already know. Y'all ain't too far from us. Master 2, no doubt. We gonna build on it. Because a lot of people seem to not think that there is an agenda out here to effeminize the black man. People seem to not believe or think that there is a homosexual agenda out here. But it is. And y'all know how it goes when you mention that word. That's a trigger word. When you mention that word, they try to shut you down. They try to ban your videos and your posts and things of that nature. Well, we gonna say it, we gonna speak on it. Jay Valentino, Denise, what's going on? So it's a lot of people that's under the impression that these agendas don't exist out here. Well, I'm here to tell you that the agendas out here are real. I'm here to tell you that when it comes to the topic of homosexuality, when it comes to the effeminization of the black man, it is very real. It is very real. They definitely have an agenda to pacify the black man, to soften that black man up, to make that black man weak, appear to be weak, and believe that he is weak. So that's definitely an agenda. And one of the best ways to push and promote that agenda is to push homosexuality on that black man. You push that homosexuality on that black man, guess what you looking at? You looking at a form of birth control. You looking at part of the agenda that revolves around depopulation. If we can make more of them homosexuals, guess what we doing? Guess what we doing? That's birth control. That's birth control. Fungate, what's going on? If you go and study, if you study your history, if you study our story, if you study our story, if you study the history of the black man, the history of the black woman, the history of the black nation, you gonna be hard pressed to find, what is it? I think in West Africa, historically speaking, they don't even have a term like a concept of the word jail. Of prison. I believe it's prison. It may be prison or jail, but West African, like historically speaking, that's unheard of in West African society, like a prison, a jail. So I believe it's like no West African word for jail when you study it historically. They wasn't locking they folks up, man. They wasn't locking the folks up. They wasn't putting them in. They wasn't putting these dudes in prisons. They wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that at all. And we gonna build on why they wasn't doing that. Ms. Donnie, peace. What's going on? Fungi, everything is smooth. Everything is peaceful. Max 701, man, every time you look up, man, when you watching something on a television screen, that's more than likely what's going to be depicted. That's more than likely what's going to be depicted, man. You're going to see the male as being weak. 9 times out of 10, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see the male being depicted as weak. As weak. That's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to see. 9 times out of 10. Tavish, you show right. 9 times out of 10, that's what you got to see. That's what you gonna see. I mean, just turn on the TV, man. Just watch a show, and you gonna see what's being depicted. You gonna see what's being depicted in that show, man. You gonna see the agenda, and they want to tell you that it's not an agenda out here. It doesn't exist. All you got to do is turn on the TV and watch your latest show and see what elements are incorporated into that show. It's literally the same elements every time. Same elements every time. Antoinette, peace, Queen, what's going on? And we got some powerful information, man. I'm going to just drop some jewels because we already know where homosexuality was popularized. Has nothing to do with African societies. And people get mad. People get mad when you bring this up, but all you got to do is study the history. Go study the history of our ancestors. Go study the history of our cultures. You will not see homosexuality being normalized until you get to the Greek societies, until you get to the European societies. That's when it becomes normalized. That's when it becomes a thing. That's when it becomes a thing, man. That's when it becomes normalized, when you start studying the Greeks and the Romans. That's when you start seeing. That's when you start seeing sodomy. That's when you start seeing the homosexuality. That's when you start seeing the pedophiles and things of that nature. I'm gonna do you one even better. When you look at the Greeks, one of their gods, Zeus. Do the knowledge to Zeus. Zeus was in love with a little boy. Zeus was in love with a little boy. Matter of fact, y'all can look this up. Jupiter, right? Y'all know the planet Jupiter. So when you look up Jupiter, I believe Jupiter is the Roman name for Zeus, which is the Greek god. When you look up the largest moon associated with Jupiter, y'all can look this up. When you look up the largest moon for Jupiter, I believe the correct name for the largest moon in Jupiter. Let me see. We gonna look it up, man. I wish I could put it on the screen, but you got, I think it's Ganymede or Ganymede. Let me make sure. I wanna get the correct pronunciation. Correct pronunciation, man. So y'all can fact check it, man. Y'all can fact check this actual fact, so y'all can see how they throw this agenda out there subconsciously, and where they got us subconsciously adhering to the agenda. Is Ganymede. So when you study the largest moon associated with Jupiter is Ganymede. Do the knowledge to what Ganymede is. You look up Ganymede. It's a Trojan youth who was abducted by Zeus and taken to Olympus, where he was made the cupbearer of the gods and became immortal. Trojan youth who was abducted by Zeus. That's the largest moon of Jupiter. So they named the largest moon after this Trojan youth who was abducted by Zeus. And we want to act like it ain't no homosexual agenda out here. We want to act like they not subliminally throwing this stuff in our face and got us adhering to this agenda subliminally and subconsciously. Why is the largest moon in Jupiter named after a Trojan youth who was abducted by a Greek god? Come on now. That ain't even make that make sense. And like I said, y'all can fact check that. Peace, God. I might be at the gym later this evening. We definitely might have them shoveling. At first, I was going to cancel it, but it looked like I might go out there, man. We might have to do some shoveling for some fitness. Yeah, Magic, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. So they try to subliminally throw this stuff into our face, into our faces, into our minds. That's what they trying to do. That's how they do it. Nah, Tavis, we ain't talking about it being factional. We talking about how they basically throwing the stuff into our faces subliminally. A lot of people don't know what's associated with some of the names, so it's not whether or not something is factual or not, but when you utilizing the words and the language subliminally is impacting you. So when you referring to something that's Jupiter, whether you believe it's a fact or not, subliminally they got you because they know the true meaning behind it. So they got a lot of things, they have named a lot of things, even the days of the week. So when we start adhering to the days of the week, when we refer to these days of the week, guess what? That's associated with them. That's associated with their deities. So we subliminally and subconsciously bowing down to them when we acknowledge the days of the week and things of that nature. That has an impact on us subliminally and subconsciously. And they know that, hence why they have named the things the way that they have named them. But a lot of people won't even know that association. A lot of people don't know the association when it comes to certain things, man. And that's wild right there. So you got Jupiter. People don't even know Jupiter is associated with Zeus. You just think Jupiter is just Jupiter. Nah, it's always a little bit deeper than that. It's always a little bit deeper than that. But when you start really studying the Greeks, you see where homosexuality derived from. See, the Greeks were the ones that mistreated their women. See, a lot of people, when you hear the word deadbeat, that is typically associated with a black man. No, the original deadbeats were the Europeans, were the Greeks. That's where the original deadbeat, that's who the original deadbeats were. Those were the original deadbeats. Those were the original abusers, man. They did not care for their women at all. This is where homosexuality derived from because they mistreated their women. They disrespected their women. They didn't care about their women, didn't care for their women at all. They were fascinated with the little boys. We can even break down the word mentor. We can even break down the word mentor and what that really meant back in the day. We can break that down. We can break that down. We can break down the word mentor when in reality, what that was, that was an older male back in the day that was fascinated with the little boy, and he took the little boy under his wing. But in return, the little boy had to give up something to get that information, to get those philosophies. That's where the origin of the word mentor comes from. And again, y'all can do the knowledge to that. Like, these words have power. These words have power, and these words have origins. Y'all think I'm lying? Just look it up. Type in mentor Odyssey, and you're going to see what comes up when you start digging deep into the word mentor, the origin of the word mentor. A lot of people think that this stuff is insignificant. Nah, it's significant. It's significant because we utilizing the language. We got to know the science behind the language that we are utilizing. We are a slave to the language, and sometimes we don't even know it. We're not even conscious of the true meaning behind some of the words that we utilize, behind some of the concepts that we follow. We not even hip to the science, the true origin behind this stuff, man. I saw something about fungi that I want to highlight, put on the screen, just so this can prove my point, because again, a lot of people get overly sensitive when this topic is brought up. Here my man Fungi is proving the point. Wasn't even, look, no such word nor thought for homosexuality in his native language. Just like they said, it wasn't a West African word for prison. We wasn't locking up all men together. We were not doing that. That was unnatural to place all men together like that. We wasn't doing that. We wasn't doing that. And as the book talks about, when you do things like that, that's unnatural, guess what? You're going to have unnatural tendencies and habits develop from that. So when you lock up all these men, guess what? You're going to have an increase in homosexual acts because you locking up all men together. You locking up all women together. That is what's going to happen. That's unnatural. They wasn't doing that. They wasn't doing that back in the day. Wasn't no word for prison. That's not how they was operating. That's not how they was operating. Matter of fact, I got a quote directly out the book. When a lot of people talk about we were enslaving one another back in the day. Well, here goes a quote right here out of the book. Men and women taken as prisoners of war in traditional ancient African society were not incarcerated. Read that again. Men and women taken as prisoners of war in traditional ancient African society were not incarcerated. Instead, they were incorporated into society in service to their captors until they earned their place as politically equal citizens with a greater choice of social roles. So men and women taken as prisoners of war in traditional ancient African society were not incarcerated. They were incorporated into society in service to their captors until they earned their place as politically equal citizens with a greater choice of social roles. So stop comparing what we did back in the day to what the Europeans do to us and did to us. It was totally different. We wasn't stripping them of their culture. We were not humiliating them. We gave them a chance to be equal citizens. We were never given a chance. We get locked up for minor offenses, and we got to do time for those minor offenses like we did a major offense. That's what's happening to us. We wasn't doing that to one another. It was a lot more humane in regards to how we treated one another. Yes, we had conflicts. Yes, we had war amongst tribes, but look at the treatment. The treatment was different. We didn't strip them of their culture, man. We didn't try to rewrite their history. We let them keep their culture. We gave them a chance. We didn't incarcerate them. We didn't lock them up. And this was your enemy. This was who you was warned against, and you didn't lock them up. So again, find me somewhere when you study in the history of the black man and black woman, find me somewhere in history where this act was normal. It wasn't normal. It wasn't normal here until, what was it, like 1974. So it wasn't really normal here until recently. So again, like I said, this topic, it rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but it is what it is. Can't get mad at the truth, man. The truth don't really care about feelings and emotions. The truth just is. The truth just is. Trade and war stories, man. What's going on? Justin Green, bestiality is definitely going to get normalized here in the future. I spoke on this may have been about 7 to 10 years ago. I said this how it's gonna roll. I said they done already normalized homosexuality, and they making you accept it. They pushing it in your face. They making it look like this is the norm. So what you about to start seeing is really about to be taboo when you heterosexual. That's about to be the odd one when you haven't had a homosexual experience. That's about to be the taboo. When this is what's gonna happen in the future. When people gonna ask one another, have you ever experimented with the same sex? And when you say no, people gonna be looking at that person as they are crazy. They're like, what? You haven't experimented with the same sex? What are you doing? You not living. That's about to be the new norm. Then again, they already in some places. Pedophilia is already being normalized in some places. It's really about to be accepted here. That's coming soon. Then bestiality. That's what I said about 7 to 10 years ago. And you can see that pedophilia is already getting there. It's already getting there. But bestiality is going to be after that. They going to listen. Making love to an animal is about to be normal. That's what's about to be normal. That's going to happen. Beast reincarnated. What's going on? Dominique, you already know. And that's a whole nother video breaking down the days of the week. That's a whole nother video. Nick, what's going on with you? Like I said, Dominique, man, listen, and just the treatment of women, the way the Greeks, the way the Europeans treated their women, and it's just crazy how now the black man has that bad rep, as if we like if all is as if all of that originated with us, the mistreatment of the woman. No, that was them. They were doing that first. They were doing that first. They popularized that. They didn't like their women. They disrespected their women. That came from them. Hence why you got the feminist movement. That's why we say that that's a European movement. That's why we say that movement originated with white women, because we were not mistreating our women. So you got the whole feminist movement. That was because of the white man's treatment toward the white woman. He disrespected the women. He was beating his woman. He was out here cheating on his woman with another man type deal. This is why the feminist movement started in the first place. We wasn't treating our women like that. I got another quote in this book that said in Africa, in ancient Africa, the woman was viewed as wealth, as a sign of wealth, as a symbol of wealth. That's how we were viewing. That's how we were viewing all women. That's not how they were viewing their women. They had laws that were restricting their women. They had laws holding their women back and down. That's why the feminist movement manifested in the first place. That's why people say that that's a movement for white women. That's why people say that. That's why people say that's a European movement. That's where that comes from. Why would black women need to have a feminist movement when we didn't disrespect our women? When we didn't mistreat our women, when we held our women on a high pedestal, we put her on the throne right there with us. That's how we treated our women. So you didn't need a feminist movement. You didn't need that. We didn't need that at all. But here they got the world thinking that when you hear deadbeat, they associate that with somebody, with a black man. They associate everything that's negative in regards to the treatment of women with a black man. That's what they have got us believing to this day. That's what they got us believing to this day. That's what we are subscribing to. Master Tube, yeah, you can definitely see it. Magic Rims, yeah, the transgender. We already know that community got a lot of power. Hence why when you start speaking out against them, your stuff get banned. It gets shut down within the quickness, man, because they got a lot of power out here. They got a lot of power out here. Listen, if you mention that community, you're going to be banned in a matter of seconds to minutes. But when you talk bad about black people, what happens? Absolutely nothing. That's showing you where the power is at right there. You can talk bad about black people on all these platforms all day. You can talk bad about black women all day. Guess what? You're going to get paid for it. They're going to pay you to do that. They're going to pay you to talk bad about black women and black men. You get paid for that. You start talking about all these other communities, guess what? They shutting that down. But you talk bad about your own, you getting applauded. You getting applauded. You getting compensated for it. That's what happens when you talk bad about your own. You get compensated for it. You show up in the algorithms when you talking bad about your own. That's what happens. You talk about these other communities out here, man. You talk about the Jews. No, the white Jews, because y'all know who the original Jews were. You mentioned that word, the white Jews. You talk about them. Guess what happens to you? You talk about the LGBTQ community. Guess what happens to you? You start talking too much about these white folks. Guess what happens to you? I'm mentioning them all by name. You start talking about these people, guess what happens to you? But the moment I start talking bad about my brothers and sisters, man, I'm good out here. I'm heavily promoted. Y'all gonna see my videos everywhere. Y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see them everywhere when I highlight the ignorance of my people. When I talk bad about my people, when I'm calling them out their names, I'm gonna show up everywhere on the search engines. I'm showing up everywhere. We going viral. We going viral. DJ Elmo, hey, DJ Elmo, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. There's a lot of evidence out here. Hirsch 187. And the first driver for, like I said, right out the book. It said it evolved out of the fundamental acyclic disrespect of women in Greece. They just disrespected their women, man. And they were, and listen, we talking about people that was wicked by nature. So it doesn't surprise me that they doing something that's unnatural and wicked by nature, because that's the true nature of the beast. So it doesn't really surprise me that they gravitating toward an unnatural way of life, a wicked way of life, because that's the true nature. Hence why we got to understand the true nature of the beast that we dealing with. So when they do things that's unnatural and wicked, it shouldn't surprise you, because that's the true nature of the beast. Justin, trade and war story. Yeah, they're going to be marrying the dogs, trying to, listen, marrying the cats, all of that. That's going to happen. Right now, it seems like, oh, wow, that's crazy. But guess what, man, give it 20, 30 years. It may happen in our lifetime. We going to see it. And they going to make a big deal out of it when it happens to. Like, they going to force us to accept that. They already treat a dog, they already treat the animals better than they treat black people. So it's only a matter of time. The dog's already a part of the family. The cat is already a part of the family. The cat and dog already get more sympathy than the black man and the black woman. So it's already pretty much here. It's already pretty much here. Magic rims, Mary in the tree. I ain't even see that one. Dominique, man, you ain't even gotta, it ain't even not to be offensive, man. I went to school with him, so I already know what you're talking about. But one thing they knew not to do was to do that type of nonsense with me. You wasn't finna play around with me like that. Wasn't finna play around with me like that. We ain't rocking like that. We ain't rocking like that. And another thing, we got to stop utilizing the word homophobic to describe people that simply disagree with the lifestyle and letting you know that it's an agenda out here. Listen, me disagreeing with that lifestyle and letting you know it's an agenda out here to push and promote that lifestyle is not me being homophobic. Stop saying that. Stop saying that. I disagree with a lot of lifestyle choices that people make. I also agree with lifestyle choices that people make. Doesn't mean I have a phobia towards the things that I disagree with. And if I believe it's an agenda out here that's pushing and promoting something that I disagree with, don't mean that I have a phobia for that. It means I'm acknowledging the agenda. It means I disagree with a certain aspect of a person's life. Don't mean I have a phobia towards that particular person and their lifestyle. That ain't what that means. So we got to stop utilizing that word. Oh, Fun Game, man. You already know that book is powerful, man. If y'all don't know the book he talking about, I'm putting it on the screen. That Unholy Alliance, CIA, Vatican, and the mob. People don't understand the connections out here. People don't understand the connections out here. People don't understand how deep everything is. A lot of things trace back to the Vatican. A lot of things trace back to that Pope. A lot of things trace back to them. And we ain't gonna get on that particular religion. You know, they made it popular to be touching the little boys out here. So we ain't gonna get on the Catholics out here. We ain't gonna get on the priests that made it popular to be touching little boys out here. We ain't gonna get on them. We ain't gonna get on them. Yeah, Tavis, they ain't gonna take it back. They trying to make it norm here. They trying to make us accept it. They trying to make us act in that manner. And they doing a great job because they forcing it. Everywhere you look up, you gonna see it. Everywhere you look up, you seeing it. Oh, Funky, I ain't even see that post, man. But I'm gonna put that on there. Dominique, you already know, man. Look, traditionally, we were never out here disrespecting our women. Never. To disrespect to disrespect women, period, is against our nature. That's against the true nature of the black man. We were never out here disrespecting our women. That didn't originate with us. We wasn't on that. We wasn't on that type of time ever. Ever. We were not doing that. We thought highly of our women back in the day. So anything other than that is a deviation from nature. Point blank, period. And again, you can study the ancient cultures, and it's going to show and prove that reality. Don't take what I'm saying on face value. Just study your history, study your story, and you gonna see what I'm saying will be confirmed and validated just by studying history. So this ain't me romanticizing anything. This is history. That type of stuff started from them. So when you out here abusing your woman, when you out here mistreating your woman, you acting like the Greeks, you acting like the white man, you acting like the European. That's what you doing. See, this is one thing I like to say, because a lot of us, we like to talk bad about the black women in regards to them wearing weave and things of that nature. We like to say they trying to mimic or emulate that European standard of beauty that they didn't demonstrated and shown to them. Well, one thing we doing as black men, when you mistreat your woman, guess what you doing? You emulating that white man. You acting like that white man. You acting like the oppressor when you do that to your woman. That's what you doing. Nick, we fighting a ton of fights that's not our fights. And a lot of these people will not fight for us, will not fight for that cause. SUSF bomber. And that's what it is. Well, listen, I ain't even gonna say it's the new black. No, black is black. Black is black. But I can see what that statement means, though. Tavon, peace, what's going on? Magic Realms, backwards. Everything is backwards. And that's what they striving for. Everything is backwards. Even the role between man and woman. Like they trying to eliminate the roles, man. They trying to eliminate that. No roles. So everything is backwards. Like I said, when you strive to eliminate the roles or reverse the roles, man, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. Y'all didn't play sports, man. Y'all know that it is important for everybody on the team to have roles and for them to know their roles. Listen, if you the star player, man, if you riding the bench, you can't be acting like you Michael Jordan out here. You can't be acting like you LeBron out here. You got to know and understand your role. You are a role player. Your duty is to come in 10, 15 minutes, score about 6, 7 points, play some solid defense. Your role is not to come out here and try to dominate the game. You're not LeBron. You're not Michael Jordan. That we gotta understand our roles, but it's important to know that we do have roles in the first place. They trying to strip that. They trying to strip that. Nobody has a role. Whatever you can do, I can do. So nobody has a role. Tell me how a team is supposed to be successful when nobody has a role. What team in history was successful when nobody had a role? Go find me that. Go find me that in history where a team was successful when nobody had a role. Go find me that. But somehow we think we can succeed in life with no roles. Just go find me that. Go find me that. Hirsch 187. I remember that. I saw that. Left $5 million to the dog. Now, what the dog gonna do with the $5 million? Dominique, listen, glad that you mentioned war. Glad that you mentioned military, because that's something that I forgot to touch on in regards to this book. Homosexuality also goes back to the military in regards to the Greeks. Because here's the theory, here's the science behind that. They pushed homosexuality amongst military members. Why? Because they believe that if the soldiers were romantically involved with one another, it will make them fight that much harder to protect the one that they love. So they pushed homosexuality amongst the soldiers. And this is a Greek thing here. They was pushing homosexuality amongst them because they believed that that would make them fight that much harder, because they wouldn't want to see the person that they was romantically involved with die. So they believed that that strengthened them when they was pushing that homosexuality amongst the soldiers. So come on now. Even when you go back to the military and you go back to the Europeans, they was using homosexuality as a tactic to strengthen their defense. This is how wicked this stuff is. It's how wicked this stuff is. It's how wicked it is. Justin Green, and that's wicked, man. That's just wicked, man. That's sick. That's wicked. That's wicked. That's all I got to say about that. That's wicked. That's sick. That's sick, man. That's wicked and that's sick. Oh, Nick, you already know. This is one of them topics you really start to see true colors, man. When you speak about this, man, you're gonna run into all type of problems. But it is what it is. I mean, we already got all type of problems just because of how we was born. So just add this to the list of problems. It can't get any worse for us, man. So listen, talking about this, you can't be afraid to talk about it. You already was born black. So you was already in America born with that disadvantage, born with that chip on your shoulder. So they trying to listen, we can't talk about anything. We can't talk about anything without people feeling some type of way. DJ Elmo, exactly. And again, I ain't even speak on Valentine's Day. I ain't even build on the origins of all of that. I ain't even want to play spoiler on it. But there you go. Terenzo, what's going on with you? Nick Olson, and again, another thing, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that some things that we categorize as our culture is nothing more than circumstantial. Soul food is a prime example of that. Soul food is a prime example of things that we refer to as our culture and circumstantial. Soul food. A lot of the food that we consume that we consider soul food is not really our culture. We was left with the foods that was the parts of the animal that were undesirable, the foods that were undesirable, and we made so-called the best out of it. That's where soul food came from, but that wasn't our culture. That ain't how we was normally eating. That ain't how we was normally eating. Magic rims, you don't see it in nature. You don't see it in nature at all. You don't see it in nature at all. And Tavis, mixed bag, it's all yep, it's here. It's already here. It's already here. See, Ron, I think we make the mistake. This is where I think we make the mistake because you asked, how do you deal with a disrespectful woman? The key words you said there, deal with, like the key phrase there, deal with. You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to deal. If it's consistent, if it's reoccurring, you don't have to deal with it. Just like you don't have to deal with a dude that's disrespecting you. You ain't got to deal with it. You don't have to entertain it. But I can tell you one thing that we don't have to do. We don't have to beat them. We don't have to abuse them. We don't have to do nothing like that. We don't have to do nothing like that. Terenzo, yeah, and Spartacus. Master 2, man, Game of Thrones, all these shows, a lot of them are a big reflection of reality. Big reflection of reality. Enzo, yeah, I don't even like acknowledging these days. And Genzo, for the most part, yes, it's unhealthy. There are elements, there are certain foods that we may eat that can be decent, but for the most part, the combination of foods that we consider soul food are terrible. Terrible. You may have certain foods within it, like sweet potatoes isolated, beneficial. Greens, when you isolate the greens and don't put all the pork in the greens, there you go, beneficial food. So it's certain foods that if you isolate them, they can benefit you. But as a collective, like what we consider soul food, like the soul food meal, the soul food Sunday, not good. Not good. Cynthia for wisdom. Yes, yes. It's at an all-time high. And people think that it doesn't even exist anymore, which is the sad part, which is the crazy part. People think that it doesn't exist. 2021, they think that we'd have made progress. They think that it's not out here. They legitimately think this. They legitimately believe this. They legitimately believe this, and we know that that's not an actual fact. Like we said, it just changed form. So we know that it's psychological and it's mental at this point. But a lot of people don't want to admit that. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge that because we got, as the book says, $1 million slaves. So we got people out here that resemble our reflection or pigmentation that have made millions and billions. And since we have that, people think that all of a sudden stuff don't exist anymore. Man, we had that back in the day. We had that back in the day when we were physically enslaved. We still had successful brothers and sisters out here from a business perspective. So that always existed. That always existed. So just because brothers out here becoming billionaires and millionaires means absolutely nothing. Like the book says, $1 million slaves. That's all that they are. Point, like, to prove that point, every time these athletes come out and say something, what do they have to do? They got to apologize. They got to apologize, or else they lose that $1 million, or else they lose that contract. They got to apologize. They got to apologize. Man, they ain't free to say nothing, man. These athletes be coming into truth, and sometimes I be feeling bad for some of these brothers, but I really don't. But they come out and they speak this truth. They come across the truth. They say something, and guess what, man? The media gets on their head. Then they got to take back the truth that they just spoke. We didn't see that happen a few times. Like Deshaun Jackson, when he talked about the Jews, he had to come out and apologize. He was out here motivated, inspired by Farrakhan, said something, had to take it back. And I saw Nick Cannon. Where he got his show back? Nick Cannon got his show back, didn't he? And that's another way. This is another way they making the black man look weak. This another way they making the black man look soft. We come out here and we speak the truth. Then we got to sit around. We got to sit down and apologize. Oh, man, I'm going to take your show away. You better apologize. Take everything back that you said so you can get your show back. So that's how they be doing this. That's how they be doing. They be making us look terrible out here. We come out here and say one thing, then we got to immediately turn around and take it back. How is that making us look? How is that making us look? How is that making us look? You mentioned, listen, you mentioned you. Just say you. Listen, just go on, just say you got something working for you on a mainstream level and you black and you get on camera and you say you. You ain't even got to say anything other than that. Just mention the word you and you about to get attacked out here. And you better take back the fact that you said that word. You better take back the fact that you said that word. You better not say that. You better not say it. Look what happened to Professor Griff. But see, Professor Griff kept rolling. He kept rolling. He kept rolling. Justin Green, no doubt. Shout out to all the people that stand their ground. Shout out to the black man that's out here in the mainstream. They ain't putting on no dress. They ain't doing none of that, man. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. And it's crazy out here. If you not with, listen, if you in Hollywood, you a black man, listen, it's two things you probably gonna get asked to do. You probably gonna get asked to do something homosexual, and you of course you gonna get asked to put on that dress. So shout out to the people. Shout out to the people that ain't compromising that. Shout out to the people that standing their ground out here. Shout out to the people that ain't really got no price. They like, man, I'm just not putting on this dress. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. It ain't that serious. I go do something else. I ain't doing that though. I remember Lord Jamar, man, like he talked about that. He talked about that. He was in that whole show, that series Eyes, man, where it was a lot of homosexual things going on. He said he wasn't doing that. Stood his ground. And you can't catch him doing anything like that in any scene on that particular show. So shout out to that, man. We ain't compromising. Listen, I get on this show, but this is what's not gonna happen. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. If you got something for me, cool. If not, keep it moving. Trabian, most of them ain't really real. Yeah, Nick, he be listen. And another brother that motivated me back in the day, along with Professor Griff, when I was really doing the knowledge, Steve Coakley. Now you talk about dropping names. Steve Coakley used to drop the names. I'm talking about, man, he used to go hard on dropping the names. Steve Coakley, that brother, his information powerful. Be hard to find some of his stuff, man. But Steve Coakley used to name drop. That man was a big threat to the establishment. Steve Coakley. Yeah, Cynthia for Wisdom, man, they controlling it all, whether it be subconsciously, unconsciously, or consciously. They doing a lot of things subliminally to the point where that, like they say, they give us this illusion of freedom. So they tell you, boom, you got freedom of speech. But if you say this, guess what? You get banned and censored, though. So do you really have freedom of speech? Because we got to look at everything as a corporation. So when we start talking about freedom of speech, but then you getting on certain platforms, guess what? The laws are different. So no, when you on Facebook, that freedom of speech is restricted to the laws and regulations of the creators and owners of Facebook. Same with YouTube. So you really don't have freedom of speech. It's the same as if you go to a job. You can't say any and everything that you want on this job. You're going by a totally different set of rules and regulations. So it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. Different ball game out here. Hey, Genzo, the devil made me do it. I already know. And Paris, a rapper, he got an album by that name. That's how I came across it for the first time. Cynthia for Wisdom, the industry is full of nonsense. That's why I would never get involved with the industry. Y'all seen what happened when DMX started to speak out against the industry. They made DMX appear to be crazy. Yes, man, DMX dabbled with the drugs, man, but DMX was on to something. The moment he really started going hard on the industry, that's when they really highlighted his drug usage and made this dude appear to be a crackhead and all of that. That's what started happening. Notice, man, with DMX, man, I don't know if y'all know the little Def Jam comedy stand-up that he did when he did his little poetry, whatever that was. I think it was Def Jam when he did his little poetry speaking about the industry, man. DMX life started going downhill from that particular point. Started going downhill. DMX ain't been the same, man. DMX ain't been the same. DMX was heavily involved in it. DMX was like at the top of the mainstream level. At a point, man, DMX was bigger than Jay-Z out here in the late 90s. Man, that dude dropped, what, 3 platinum albums back to back to back. DMX was at the top of the game, man. Then he was acting. DMX was as big as you could get. Then he started speaking out against the industry. Now, all of a sudden, we just know him as a crackhead. DMX was doing drugs before he got into the industry. Wasn't nobody talking about him being a crackhead then. They weren't talking about him being no crackhead then. We was just embracing his musical talent and his acting and his personality. When he started speaking against the industry for real, then all of a sudden, we want to highlight his drug usage. Then that's when we do that. He had been using drugs before he even became DMX. So they could have been highlighted that drug usage. They could have been did that. They waited till he started talking against the industry, speaking against the industry. Justin Green, I heard about that. And it doesn't surprise me, doesn't shock me, because what? Here we go. Here we go. Doesn't shock me, doesn't surprise me. Doesn't shock me, doesn't surprise me. Oh, Nick Lewis, we already know. Music and film, that's just the tip. Man, listen, that's a small spectrum, man. We ain't even got into the education, the religion. Well, I did semi-touch on religion. Did semi-touch on that when we talking about the Catholic priests and what they out here doing. So we are, We already got that. And outside of the Catholic priests, we also got the pastors within other religions. And we know how they out here pimping the congregation. So we know that that's happening. We know that that's out here happening. How they utilizing that doctrine to just enslave primarily in these other religions the women. Hence why you can go to these churches and you can see the congregation. The congregation comprises predominantly of women. You're going to have your male pastor out here pimping that congregation. Pimping that congregation. Terenzo, appreciate that donation. You say Tommy Lauren apologized for calling men trash. Why? Because white men pay her salary. Would have canceled her. So the moral of the story is slavery is a psychological attachment to their dollars and cents, aka cents. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. They cutting the check. They cutting the check. Leo Soul, what's going on? Eddie Griffin, Travian. Eddie Griffin is underrated. Eddie Griffin is underrated too. It's a few brothers out here, man. I know the story was circulating in that one show, The Shy. I forget dude's name, but he had allegedly, I don't know if this guy confirmed, but he had lost his role, or they killed his character off because he didn't want to play a homosexual role. That was the story that was out here. Don't know if it got confirmed or validated. If so, I applaud that. Magic Rim, DMX definitely knew what was going on. And if you really did the knowledge to DMX's music, you could always see that he was wrestling with the demons within the industry. He had a lot of tracks called like The Omen. So he had tracks where he was so-called talking to the devil. See, DMX in his music, like he was letting you know what he was wrestling with at that particular point in time. So you already knew that he was wrestling with something. He was letting it be known in his music every so often. Then he finally started to really speak out against it and speak out on it. And look what happened to him. Look what happened to him. Tavish, yeah, Prodigy. Look what happened to him. It's ironic that Prodigy's last album before his death was an album where it was his album where he talked about the industry the most and got in depth. Ironic, isn't it? Even Pimp C, another person y'all sleep on, Pimp C. Before he died, man, he started talking about the industry. He started talking about homosexuality within the industry. Pimp C was on it. Pimp C was on it before he died. Before he died, Pimp C was talking about the homosexuality within the industry. Pimp C was speaking game, and he was dropping jewels. Then Pimp C dies. And the list goes on, man. The list goes on. Cynthia for Wisdom, they always pull a tactic to cover the tracks. Always. Yeah, Dominique, and I watched the doc on that, man. He was out here robbing cats with his pit bull. Like DMX ain't had the most glorious history, but they wasn't focusing on that. They started focusing on that when he started talking about the industry. Then that's when all the bad about DMX started to surface. The bad that was already out here. DMX was never a saint, man. So they could have been did that. But when he was out here making the record labels a lot of money, they was like, nah, we can't expose that. We can't let that be known. We can't let that out. When he was out here making the record labels all that money, when he was making other people money. Well, when he said, all right, I got something to say about the industry, then they was like, hold up. They was like, hold on. He talking too much. Let's go ahead and let the drug thing become a problem now. Become something to focus on. Genzo, this the thing. Take your talents and use it for the betterment of your people. Just don't get involved with the Hollywood aspect of it. Yeah, Travian Reg, I couldn't even think of that. But yeah. So if that's a true story, like if it got confirmed and validated, I rocks with that. Genzo, now what you mean with my thoughts on Pac and Big in regards to like the industry? You already know how I rock with Pac. Thunder Scorpion, I have yet to see the movie. I'ma see it in due time. Y'all know I'm real familiar with Fred Hampton's story, as y'all see Fred Hampton behind me. So I'm real familiar with that particular story, which is why I'm not really in a big rush to see it, because I already know what to expect. Fungay the Observer. I'm gonna have to check him out. I'm gonna have to check him out. Airview, what is it called? What is that movie? The Judas and the Black Messiah. That's the movie based on the life of Fred Hampton, based on the story of Fred Hampton. It's that particular movie. Genzo, my opinion on Tupac. I'm a diehard Tupac fan, but Tupac most definitely 100% got corrupted when he went to death row. I am a bigger fan of the pre-death row Tupac. When he got to death row, his mind started to get corrupted a little bit. Then when he started to come into some truth, Tupac, what people don't know, or y'all may know this, but Tupac had plans. He was trying to free himself from Suge before he got assassinated there. He was trying to free himself from that, and he was trying to do his own thing. So that's what Tupac was on before he was killed, man. Tupac was trying to free himself from death row. Him and Suge were having little disputes and things of that nature, man. They really wasn't seeing eye to eye. So he was trying to free himself from that. He was trying to free himself from that. And then y'all know the end of that story. Y'all know the end of that story. But Tupac, man, the Tupac pre-death row is my favorite Tupac. It's my favorite Tupac. Like the Black Panther, Panther Party, Tupacalypse Tupac, Brenda's Got a Baby, Tupac. That Tupac is my favorite Tupac. My favorite Tupac. That was my favorite Tupac. Thunder Scorpion, I don't even really think he was conflicted. I just think he got corrupted. As you said, the young age, man, he just got corrupted because pre-death row, he knew what was up, man. Pac had some powerful people within his bloodline. So Pac knew what was up out here. He knew what was up, man. He started hanging around the wrong crowds. He started hanging around the wrong crowds, and them wrong crowds got the best of him. They got the best of him. And that industry pressure, man, it just got the best of him. Got the best of him, man. If he would have stayed down the path that he was on, like the pre-death row Pac, like nah, man, Pac was real powerful, that pre-death row Pac, in regards to his message, man. So that industry pressure got the best of him. That pre-industry Pac got the best of him, man. They corrupted him. They corrupted him because he had some powerful influences within his family, just from like the Black Panther background and things of that nature. And when you listen to like Panther Power and all of that, man, and then even some of his speeches, man, speeches that he was giving back in the day, he was on that right. He was on that path. He was on that freedom fighter path, man. I really feel like that was more so his calling. Because, man, Pac was a powerful speaker, man. Pac was a powerful speaker. Pac was a powerful speaker, man. His speeches, man, like the way that he conducted himself, man, in regards to his speeches, man, Pac was a powerful speaker. On top of just being like an MC and a rapper and an artist, man, he could speak. When Pac speak, when you go watch Pac in his speeches, like you finna listen. You ain't gonna turn that speech off. Pac was very good at articulating his thoughts, man. Oh, Tavis, you already know that. That's my favorite. That's my favorite Pac album. Thunder Scorpion, and yeah, he basically was trying to kill it, which is why he called it Illuminati. But with that being said, I also analyzed Pac from a standpoint of, as you said, he was 25. Pac also said some things that I don't agree with. And I feel like he could have further did the research on, did the knowledge too. He even mentioned some things about the culture that I'm a part of when he was locked up that obviously I disagree with. The 5% Nation of Gods and Earths is what I'm talking about. He mentioned some things in an interview to where he basically was expressing his disagreement towards them. So I got points where I disagree with Pac. So I ain't gonna necessarily just ride with everything that Pac said. I also got points where I'm disagreeing with Pac as well. So I need for people to understand that too. Just because Pac said it don't mean I agree with it. Y'all know I'm a big Pac fan, just like the brothers behind me. Just because Khalid Muhammad and Fred Hampton said it don't necessarily mean I agree with it. And a lot of times we don't know how to just disagree with certain aspects of a person that we like. Like Dr. Sebi. You got people that either follow him to a T or don't follow him at all. I'm one of the ones that can take bits and pieces of the lifestyle and apply it to my life. I'm not going to be like I'm 100% follow this. I'm 100% follow this person, or I'm 100% disagree with this person. No, it's going to be certain aspects with that person that I agree with, then certain things about that person that I don't agree with. That's any and everybody. That's any and everybody. Justin Green, yeah, that book is solid. DJ Elmo, glad you asked it. Solutions to the issue. I don't watch TV, avoid polluting the mind. One part of the solution in regards to the topic for today, which is basically effeminizing the black man. It's sad that we gotta restore manhood. We gotta restore that. It's so bad out here that when you stand up and say that I'm a strong black man, or when you mention strong black man in a sentence, then people looking at you like you just said something negative. That's the world that we live in today. So we actually got to restore black manhood, which is sad. But first things first, we got to continue to control the narrative. We got to control the narrative. We can't allow them to keep showing us in that passive, that weak, and that soft light. We got to start displaying ourselves in that strong and powerful light. We got to display that. We got to show and prove that reality. We got to push that agenda. Because again, everything has an agenda tied to it. So just like they pushing that agenda, we got to push the opposite agenda to neutralize what's going on out here. So we got to show them when they start talking about deadbeats and when they act like we just out here isolated from the lives of these children, we got to show the positive fathers out here. We got to neutralize that misinformation. We got to neutralize that nonsense. When they out here talking about, oh, these black men get money and they go date white women, or they go date outside the race. That's garbage. Quit saying that. That's a false narrative, man. Some of your richest athletes, some of your wealthiest athletes are with black women. LeBron James. So like, quit saying that. Quit feeding into that nonsense. Quit pushing and promoting that. Yes, there are some brothers out here that are athletes, that are entertainers, that date outside the race. But guess what? There are a lot of brothers out here that have made it, quote unquote, and are with sisters that they grew up with, that was there with them from day one type deal. So come on now. We love pushing that. We love pushing a narrative like that when it revolves around making the black man look a certain type of way in a negative light. We love pushing that narrative then. For the life of me, I really can't stand when people just act like it's a rule of thumb. When a black man gets to a certain status, he dates outside his race, when we got plenty of examples of that not necessarily being the case. Can't stand that. Can't stand when people say that. DJ Elmo film, they getting us big time. And this is one of the ways they really getting us with entertainment and film. You got a pandemic. So a lot of people had to quarantine. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people was at the crib. A lot of people was bored. So they really got us during this time because we ain't had nothing to do. We working from home, like we just entertaining ourselves. So they really pushed that agenda. They really was able to get the best of us now. Because what we ain't got nothing to do, so to speak. But again, so I say we start just by continuously promoting the positive images of black men out here. When you see a matter of fact, when you do something that's just positive, man, broadcast it. Broadcast it. Forget being humble. We got to broadcast the positive that we do so people can see that we out here doing the work, because they gonna broadcast the negativity. So when we do something that's positive, we got to broadcast it. We got to let them know, hey, we out here doing what's positive. We out here doing something powerful. Broadcast it. If y'all gonna continue to broadcast the negatives, we gonna continue to broadcast the positives, neutralize. Fun gate, no doubt. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, Genzo, definitely through the affirmation. God Body 1988. And that's what we got to stop doing. We definitely base lives around what celebrities do. It'd be crazy. People be out here like, I want a relationship like such and such. I want a marriage like such and such. Man, y'all taking that on face value. That's one of the first things they told we don't do. Don't take anything off face value. And that's what we doing. We looking at what people showing us. We looking at what people showing us. We say, oh man, they must be peaches and cream over there. I want to be like such and such. I want somebody like Russell Wilson. That's what they started to say. Man, you don't know how that dude act, man, when the camera's off. Man, they just showing you, listen, they just showing you what they want you to see. You don't know how the man truly is. So to sit out here and think that you want somebody just like that based off of what they are showing you, y'all naive and gullible, man. Y'all really don't know what all goes on. And that's how I operate. That's how I look at things. Man, I don't know them. I don't have a personal relationship with them, man. So I'm not about to act like I want somebody based off of what they are showing me via like the media. Not doing that. I'm not that naive and gullible. I'm not aspiring to have a celebrity type of relationship. Not doing that. Not doing that at all. Yeah, God Body broadcasting. Man, you do something positive, pull the camera out. Just like when somebody about to fight, we yelling World Star and we pulling phones out. Well, when a black brother out here donating to the cause, World Star that, pull the phones out. When that brother out here breaking up that fight, pull the phone out. When that brother out there helping out that sister, pull the phone out. Man, I don't even care if you help an old lady cross the street, pull the phone out. World Star that. God Body, man, we gotta bear them. I'm actually about to get my collection up because it's gonna come a time where we gonna have to listen. We gonna be all we got in a minute. So bearing arms definitely a necessity. Definitely got to do it to protect ourselves. That's how they got the best of us, man, because they pull that military on us and they destroy our Black Wall Streets, our roads, woods, and things of that nature. So I'm all for that. Yeah, Magic Realms, and that's irresponsible to just take something off face value and say I aspire to have that. You don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. That's a problem. Stop aspiring for things that you don't even know the whole story. Gotta stop doing that. Yep, Cynthia Ford Wisdom, and they definitely pushing it through social media because they listening to us on these phones. So when we speaking, we got to understand that these phones are listening. Hence why you would have an ad about something that you was talking about. You were like, man, I just saw an ad about an ironing board. I was talking about ironing boards. How they know? You gonna see that ad about it. All you got to do, your phone listening, your phone collecting that intel, that data. That's what your phone is doing. Fun game, man. I'm with you on that. I'm trying to add martial arts to my arsenal, boxing and things of that nature, so I can teach that and instruct people just how to defend themselves and things of that nature. The Scorpion, I think I remember hearing that story. Yeah, Genzo, and like I said, man, people be seeing these things and taking it off face value and say that they want that. I want somebody like this. I'm like, man, you don't know how this dude is. You don't know how this chick is when the camera's off. You have no idea. Yeah, Travian, I'm already knowing. I'm already knowing. Yeah, Tavon, and listen, a lot of the street brothers are actually woke. Like I said, I'll be having better interactions with the brothers in the streets. A lot of them have a lot of decent information, decent knowledge. They just out here doing the wrong thing. So you just got to show them how to do something in a more productive light. That's all. That's the problem, man. Listen, there's a lot of street brothers, man. They be in my inbox right now shooting videos my way about the stuff I'm talking about. They be hip to what's going on, man. They just got to do something that's a little bit more legit and productive. Yeah, Genzo, the facial recognition is out here, man. All of that is out here. Voice recognition, facial recognition is out here. Oh, God body, man. What's that black-owned store, man? Listen, I may travel to Chicago just to rock with it. Hey, that 52 blocks, Justin. 52 blocks is dope. Dope. I got a cousin that's hip to that, man. Dope. 52 blocks is dope. But yeah, man, like I said in the song, man, we got to keep them books and bullets because we know they plan new intruders. So we got to keep them books and those bullets, man. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. We got to have them. We got to have the weapons on us, man. Like I said, I'm going to get my collection cracking. Get my collection cracking. They get real nervous when they see us collecting those weapons because they know what we getting them for. They can tell, man, they can pick up on that vibe, man. So when somebody, like when I come in somewhere, like when I go into a gun store, if they see me in there, they gonna know what it's about. They can pick up, they be picking up on the vibe. They know I ain't in there to get this weapon to take down my own. Because listen, the people that get the guns to take out their own people, they getting them guns from the government. They ain't going into the gun store to get those guns. So the brothers that's out here shooting up their own kind, they getting supplied those weapons via the government. That's how they getting a lot of those weapons, man. It's illegal. So they ain't going into the gun store. So when they see us in these stores, they like, whoa, wait a minute. Yeah, Eli, and that's how I go. You think about something, you're going to see an ad about it. You're going to see an ad about it. Thunder Scorpion, yeah, man. Hey, 52 blocks is dope. 52 blocks is dope. And then I got a book on like capoeira. I ain't really too smooth with dancing, man. So that'd be hard for me to learn that one. But capoeira is nice too. A lot of people think about martial arts and all that type of stuff. People don't understand who really created that. As with everything else, they think that that's something that white folks, Asians, and all that then created. Man, that started with us too. DJ Elmo, you already know. You ain't gonna never hear me talking about Black Lives Matter, BLM. You ain't gonna see me rocking no shirt talking about Black Lives Matter. We ain't talking about that. We ain't rocking with them like that. We already know the science behind that agenda and that movement. We already know what's going on there. We ain't even gonna focus on that. We don't associate with that at all. At all. Dominique, you already know, man. I talk about this every time this topic comes up. When you read Tukey Williams' his autobiography, that's what he said. Tukey Williams told you, he said, man, they would take Crips and drop them off in blood neighborhoods if they had a problem with it. See, this is what they do. They will have informants, man. So they'll be promising these informants certain things. You see it in movies. And if the informant is not giving them proper information at a time in a timely manner, they take them and drop them off in that rival neighborhood. And we know what's gonna happen. We know what's gonna happen. When you drop that crip off in that blood neighborhood the wrong time of the night, we know what's gonna happen. But they're not gonna tell you that he was dropped off there. They're not gonna tell you that. God body, man. I'm gonna have to check that out, man. Do they deliver? Do they got like an online store? I'm gonna have to look him up. Thunder Scorpion, you already know. You already know. You already know. And definitely a spin kick somebody to the ground. That's definitely my type of speed too. But yeah, Dominique, man, we already know who be behind a lot of that. But of course, they're not gonna say that. That's what we would call the unseen hand. But this is stuff that we know happens. And we can even go on a larger scale. They supplied a lot of the enemies, like ISIS and things of that nature. They supply a lot of them with weapons to overthrow their governments. We can talk about Gaddafi with that joint, but they do that. They do that, man. They do that. Then got us fearing these people. Meanwhile, they working with the people the whole time. Got us fearing ISIS. Meanwhile, they cool with ISIS. Meanwhile, they didn't supply ISIS with weapons. Yeah, Godbody, that's what I'm gonna do. So we already know how deep this agenda really gets, man. But like I said, a lot of people getting their feelings, man. A lot of people don't want to acknowledge this reality. Matter of fact, just off the strength of me titling this video, the way that I entitled this video and the stuff that I'm talking about, I'm already seeing the subscribers go down. See, this type of stuff I be paying attention to. So it let me know I didn't have agents and whatnot. Probably was some bots that will subscribe to the channel because I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Now you see the number dwindle down a little bit. So that means it's some people on here. Chris, I'm already knowing. And that's what we got to do as black men. We be having to really defend ourselves out here, man, because we under attack. So we always having to really defend ourselves, defend manhood. It's sad, but we be having to do that. We be having to do that. Fun gay, you already know. You already know. God body, we already know, and then we know the money that's to be made from war and things of that nature. And then when you make it appear as if we have a threat to our well-being over here, you can take away our freedoms. So when you give us an ISIS, when you give us an apparent enemy, then you can restrict our freedoms on this end because you making it appear as if it's a threat to our like security and things of that nature. So you can restrict a lot of our freedoms by creating an enemy, creating a threat. So that's another reason why they do things like that. So they're going to create the enemy, create a threat, then they take away our freedoms because they say, well, we got a threat to your security. So we gotta restrict some of the laws out here. We got to restrict some things. We got to take away certain freedoms because it's a threat out here. It's a terrorist threat when really they the biggest terrorists. Oh, hey, Dominique, that Monster Cody Scott book. I got that joint up in here. I don't know if it's behind me, but I definitely got that book. Another one of my favorite books. DJ Elmo, and that's where it starts. You got to start with the youth. especially with the phones, man. They have access to these phones. They got access to a lot. Back in my day, we didn't have access to everything via these phones. We wasn't getting no phones in the 5th grade. I ain't get a cell phone till I was in the 9th grade, high school. Now they getting phones, smartphones in 4th and 5th grade. They getting iPads in 2nd grade, you know? So they able to have access to these things a lot earlier than we did. And that's causing a lot of problems. That's causing a lot of problems. Again, so no doubt, I'd much rather have them unsubscribe. That's why every other video, I gotta let it be known where I stand, so I can get rid of those type of people, man. Because I don't want people to be thinking this is sweet. No, we still gonna attack. We in attack mode. So I gotta every other video, I gotta let people know what it is. So if you on here thinking something sweet, then you can politely unsubscribe and remove yourself, because I gotta let you know what it is. Amaru Set, what's going on? Justin Green, that population control, that book is powerful. Book is powerful. Amaru Set, listen, we got the power. We got the power. Like I said, they can try all they want. We got that power though. Yeah, Magic Rims, man. Just even being on a cell phone too long, man, it emits that radiation, and that could cause cancer. And that's some things that they don't necessarily tell us. See, it's a lot of different things out here that can contribute to the decline of your health. And a lot of these revolve around some of these devices that we are on religiously. So we just think it boils down to the food. Now, it's a lot of things that's harming you out here. A lot of things that's harming you out here. So that's why somebody can change the way that they eat and still die of a disease, because it's a lot of different things that's contributing to the decline of your health, like a lot of things. Yeah, Master Two. And that's what I was talking about, freedom of speech. That's what happens. So when you start looking at things from that standpoint, then you don't have freedom of speech. Because if you say something while you on this job, that job has every right to get rid of you. So that's what they do. They start operating from that corporation basis and standpoint. They start telling these corporations, listen, nobody can work for you unless they get vaccinated. That's how they attack us. Then they get to the school system. A child cannot attend this school if they don't get vaccination A, B, C, and D. That's what they start doing. Then you got to start going to war. You got to start going to war with them, man, taking them to court, things of that nature, if it's really that serious to you. So you're going to have to fight it. If you really like that job, need that job, you probably can fight it and win it. But the fact is, you're going to have to fight it. And when you shouldn't have to. Oh, Yenzo, man, I already know. The elders are the guinea pigs. The elders are the guinea pigs. Sadly enough, the elders are the guinea pigs, man. And a lot of them are volunteering, man. They walking right into the gas chamber. They walking right into the gas chamber, man. Like they told like for the Holocaust, man, when they was telling the Jews, when they was telling them they going to take a shower, marching right into the gas chamber. That's what we doing. We walking right into that gas chamber. We walking right into it. Walking right into it, man, and it's sad. It's sad. We walking right into it, thinking nothing of it. Thinking nothing of it, man. The elders are being used, they being sacrificed, basically. They sacrificing their lives, man. Sacrificing their lives, man. Signing up to be guinea pigs. That's what's happening, man. Yeah, DJ Elmo, all of that is real. And a lot of people think that stuff is false. A lot of people think that stuff is fake. It's the reality out here, man. These devices cause problems. They cause problems with your health. That's why listen, even the people Listen, even the people that have had a hand in creating these devices, some of them are coming out telling you how destructive and deadly these devices are, how addictive these devices are, and how they made it with that intention for it to become addictive and things of that nature, man. So they coming out letting you know the true reality behind these devices, man. They throwing that truth right in plain sight. Cynthia for Wisdom, Walking Blind, and what was that show? Walking Dead. Walking Dead. That's us. That particular show was a big reflection of reality. Walking Dead. Then what was them Night Walkers or whatever them joints called? That's the masses, man. That's the masses out here. And Amaru set. You say it right when you type it right when I'm saying it. Yeah, Master too. They tricking us, man. They got us out here being patriotic and getting the vaccine, sacrificing our lives for the greater good of this country. Come on now. And y'all, and I told y'all know I had said this before this happened, but I just saw, because YouTube wants to force me to be updated on COVID. So what did I see? I saw that the numbers, like everything is starting to look a little better. Starting to look a little better, man. I don't know if the video, I'm gonna see if I can go find that video right now, man, and get the word verbatim. But basically, we starting to see an improvement in regards to the cases that's out here. Now, it still ain't the best, but we seeing an improvement. That's that propaganda. It's like we done got this vaccine out here. Now, all of a sudden, we gonna see improvements here. That's what's happening. And we knew that was gonna happen. Sharif, man, that's all you guys to do. That's all you guys to do. Oh, Amaru will say, universe, that bone weakness, that's big. That's big. Definitely that. Look, the headache and the memory problems, also big, because all of those things are being caused by these devices when we be around them too often. So we getting things like dementia, Alzheimer's, and we think that's just a natural byproduct of getting older. It's not, man. This stuff is being caused by things. Being caused by things. Terenzo, I can imagine. I don't even know if I want to experience it. I can imagine. Genzo, and you already know why that's happening. Yeah, Fun K, and I read that about them, and it's crazy. They don't even be letting their own children be addicted to these devices. Yeah, Thunderscribe, I know a few people that get it. And as with everything, you're gonna have some people that get this vaccine and they may not experience anything negative. But I would rather take my chances just taking care of myself. It ain't even taking no chance, really. I'm just gonna take care of myself. Yeah, Magic Realms, the attention span of the current generation is very low. And that's why, because it's just easy to be distracted out here, man. They jumping from one thing to another because of these smart devices. JFW 321, what's going on? JFW, it's a never-ending battle for us, man. It's like I said, the black men, we always defending our reputation. We always defending ourselves, man, because it's a lot of like the image, the narrative of us, man, is just negative. We either criminals, thugs, savages, gangsters, and all of that, or we deadbeats and all of that, man. So we just got a bad rep, man. So when you are upstanding brother, like you really got to be out here defending yourself because of the narrative surrounding us, to the point where people won't even believe you when you start talking about certain things that you don't do. That's how bad it is out here. That's how bad it is out here. Thunder Scorpion. Man, I think when it comes to infiltration, I think this is what I think we need to do. Because the government, they got ways that they detect all of this type of stuff. So I think we need to just study them, man. We need to start having lie detector tests and things like that, even though you can manipulate that, man. But we just need to start doing rigorous things like that to determine like the spies, the agents, the infiltrators, and all that, man. We need to have systems set up. We need to have systems set up, man. We need all type of tests. We need all type of tactics and strategies. They got a lot of that. They got a lot of that to determine the spies, to determine the infiltrators. Sometimes they catch them, sometimes they don't. But we got to study their systems and implement them. Because we don't do nothing. For the most part, they get the person that's closest to the individual. So anytime you got a person, anytime, and this is the sad part about it, but anytime you got a person that's got a history, like a criminal history, that be the person that they try to get, because they promise that person a lot, or they threaten that person and say, look, if you don't give us this information, then we gonna lock you up on these charges because you already got this record type deal. So they be using that person. They be using that person. So if you finna have any type of organization and you're gonna allow brothers in with a record, man, you gotta, sadly enough, watch them, because those are the first people that they gonna try to flip, because they gonna use that record against them. Like my record squeaky clean, so it's like it's hard to set me up on something. If they tried to set me up on, if I was part of an organization and they tried to set me up, it wouldn't even be believable, because I've never, like, I'm not even in the system. I haven't done anything. So if all of a sudden I'm with an organization that's speaking against the system, then I just start randomly getting in trouble. That's just gonna be too obvious. But if I had a track record, then it's gonna be like, okay, we can use him, we can flip him. You ain't finna use me and flip me because I don't have a record. Again, so you already know. I'm waiting for that day when they wake up, because it's gonna happen overnight. They gonna wake up and say, all right, we're gonna ease up on the restrictions. You can go to grocery stores with no mask on. Guess what? People gonna be in grocery stores with no mask on. You still gonna have your skeptics that's gonna have the mask on, but once they let us know that it's a choice, all right, you can either wear this mask or you can't. But it's good. We decent now. We trusting it now. So you can take the mask off. Just watch what happens. Ooh, fun game. Ooh. And on top of that book, it's another book. I think that book is called How We Know What Isn't or something. It deals with lying via statistics. So a lot of people say numbers don't lie and things of that nature. Man, I got a book. I think it's called How We Know What Isn't. On top of the book that Funge is talking about, it talks about how they lie utilizing statistics and numbers. That's a real thing. That'd be a whole nother video. Thunder Scorpion, they infiltrated that. So it wasn't even, they infiltrated that easy. It'd be like if I started an organization and they used my closest homeboy against me, and it was just that easy. That's how easy that was. Like the person that's been closest to me my whole life turned on me. That's just how easy that was. That's how easy that was. That's how they got Fred Hampton. They didn't even have to fight to get him. It wasn't even that they had to search for to get him. That's crazy. Oh yeah, sick. Yeah, definitely put that joint on the opposite side. Definitely do that. Definitely. DJ Elmo, the water around here is, listen. My boy Justin was talking about the book Population Control, and they talked about something called fracking. I don't know if you all know what fracking means, man, but fracking is very poisonous to like the water and the air and things of that nature around us. When you look up fracking, I can read you just a simple definition right here. Fracking sites release a toxic stew of air pollution that includes chemicals that can cause severe headaches, asthma symptoms, childhood leukemia, cardiac problems, and birth defects. In addition, many of the 1,000 plus chemicals used in fracking are harmful to human health. Some are known to cause cancer. Like, that's how dangerous fracking is. And this is something that they practice, which is fracking. What fracking is, the process of injecting liquid at high pressure into subterranean rocks, boreholes, etc., so as to force open existing fissures and extract oil or gas. That's what fracking is. And they practice fracking religiously. And that's poison in the water. That's poison in the air. Childhood leukemia, like cancers, all as a result of fracking. Something that they practice. Something that they try to tell you is beneficial and healthy. Chris, man, appreciate that donation. Oh, again, so I don't trust nothing. I don't trust nothing because I done seen them false positives and all that type of stuff. One minute you got COVID, then next minute you don't, then the next minute you don't again, then next minute you do. Like, come on, man. Amaru Asset. That book, that's one of my favorite books. Huey Newton book, Die for the People. Revolutionary Suicide, also another powerful book by Huey Newton. Two of my favorite books. Blueprint to Black Power by Amos Wilson. We also need to read that joint as well. Thunder Scorpion, and it's sad, man, but that's what we would have to do. Like, if you start an organization, you got to actually listen. You're gonna have to spy on people. Sadly enough, man, because listen, it's been too easy to infiltrate our movements. From Fred Hampton to Marcus Garvey, like, it's just been too easy. Like, we got to stop being that easy to buy off, man. Like, my goodness, we'll sell out our own family members, man, for like 1,000. Like, that is crazy out here. Yeah, Magic Realms. Jim Morris got a few books, man, that be talking about some information. That be dropping jewels. Beast reincarnated, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Yeah, Master 2 definitely need that buffer zone. But we just gotta, man, we really gotta be able to. A lot of people, man, we just want to trust people. See, Black people, we too big on the benefit of the doubt. We that type of people. We gonna give this person the benefit of the doubt because I've been knowing them for 10 years. So they wouldn't betray me. I've been knowing them too long. We can't do that. No, if you get offended with somebody just doing the knowledge to you and just making sure that you ain't being bought off or nothing and selling your people out, you can't deal with that person. Can't deal with them, man, because again, history shows and proves to us that the people that's selling the people out, the ones that's closest to them. So you got to be willing to be evaluated on a weekly basis. If a person is not willing to be evaluated on that weekly basis, then boom, exit them. We can't trust them. Eliminate them. Can't trust them. Amaru said universe. The only time I put the joint on is when I have to, when I go into like a store where I must do it. I almost got jumped by people in certain stores and gas stations, man, because I'll be right at the door, no mask on, man, and they running out the door telling me I got to put the mask on. I'm like, if I done already made it this far, I'm in the store now, basically. Me going back to my car, putting my mask on, ain't finna do nothing. I done already spread it. You know what I mean? Like, I done already did it at this point, if y'all think I got it. Yeah, Amaru, and again, it's like you be saying stuff right when I be thinking. But when they almost jumped on my head, I just left. I ain't even go back in my car to put my mask. I just left. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion. By the time you get up to 50, you might have several rats in there. If you get to 50 members in the organization, you probably got 5 rats. That's how easy we sell our people out. Hey, Sig Radio, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. Hey, Genzo, I can imagine that. You take it off just to get you some fresh air. They looking at you like you spreading death around here. Like you spreading death out here. Cynthia for Wisdom. Oh, I am very familiar with Agenda 21. Very familiar with it. Very familiar with it. They are definitely on a mission. They are definitely on a mission. Amaru said universe. Nurse practitioner, you say COVID is a hoax. I've heard this from several people in your industry, in your field, which is what I'm talking about. See, people be thinking I just be coming up here saying some things for shock value. I'm like, nah, the people that's out here fighting it, the people that's out here treating the people, they telling me that it's nonsense. JFW, man, some people will sell their people out for free. Forget the chicken box. They'll do it for free. Man, Marua said, I'm just going to have to put everything she say on this screen. Y'all are dropping the science here. I don't even have to say nothing. She dropping it all for you. She dropping it all for you. Dropping it all for you. Yeah, Genzo, it's crazy. It's crazy the fear that has been instilled in people when it comes to this particular virus, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, Sig Radio. Sig of the radio. A stranger might not even approach you because they don't know you, but a close person knows your weakness. And that's why I say it's proximity. That's why that close person is going to betray you more than the person that don't know you. Proximity. You're not going to deal with the person that don't know you. You deal with the people that know you, that you close to, that you fool with. So that's why they betray you. That's why we are betrayed by them people the most. Trabian, man. That's why I'm glad I got my own little spot. Because I don't be wearing no mask in that joint. Listen, I done had my spot. People don't be rocking no mask in that joint. And we ain't had no cases. I ain't had no cases. DJ Elmo, I remember Wesley Muhammad saying that. Yeah, Thunder Scorpion, I couldn't get with it either. Couldn't get with it either. But we know what's really going on out here, man. We know the truth. We ain't gonna let them spook us. Master Tube, you say what you say. I can't afford not to trust anyone. So what should I do? At the end of the day, man, you just gotta really examine the people that you choose to trust. That's it. You gotta really examine them, man. Because again, when you really examine people, they gonna reveal some things to you. They're gonna reveal some things to you. You just gotta examine them. A lot of the times, man, a lot of times people show their true colors. We just overlook it due to our relation to the people. You just can't overlook the things that they show you. You can't overlook the things that they show you. When they start showing you those true colors, you gotta listen. You gotta pay attention to them. Gotta pay attention to them. That's what we got to do, man. So you got to examine the people. that you choose to trust, that you choose to let in. You got to examine them thoroughly. Pay attention. Once you start seeing their ways and actions change, you got to pay attention to that. Like, man, what's up? Like a week ago, you weren't acting like this, man. You acting a little suspect now. You got to really pay attention to that. Got to pay attention to it. So we ain't telling you to not trust anybody. We telling you to just examine the people that you choose to trust. A lot of times, once we say that we trust the person, we let the guard down immediately. Can't do that. Don't let the guard down. Don't let the guard down. Don't look at things like it's unconditional. No, it's conditions to this trust. Once you start acting this way, the trust is gone. Oh, yeah, again, so they tell you to keep the enemies close. Keep the enemies close. And it's a lot of different perspectives for that particular law of power. It's a lot of different perspectives for that particular law of power. Oh, sick, no doubt. Definitely don't treat them the same. Definitely don't. But I just examine and analyze everybody. Even when you think I ain't watching and analyzing and observing, that's what I'm doing. As we say, we see everything, you know. They say a law sees everything. Y'all know how we view that. So we see everything. It's that all-seeing eye that we possess. It's that all-seeing eye that you possess, man. Y'all got things like intuition. Y'all pick up on frequencies, vibes, things of that nature. Y'all know when something don't feel right with a person. We pick up on it all the time. We just don't listen to that gut feeling. Y'all done been around that person, man, where something just ain't feeling right. Something is off about that person. They just behaving in a different way. Something ain't right. But we just choose to overlook that a lot of the time because that's cuzzo, that's brother, that's sister, that's mother, that's father. So we pick up on a lot of that stuff. We pick up on a lot of that. We pick up on a lot of that. And a lot of times we got to roll with it. You got to roll with that gut feeling, man. You feeling that way for a reason. How all of a sudden you wake up and you feeling suspicious about your cousin? You ain't go to sleep feeling suspicious. You woke up feeling some type of way about your cousin. Why do you think you feeling that way? You got to examine that feeling. You got to examine that feeling. It's a reason why you woke up feeling that way. Yeah, Amy Rua said that, and that's why I said it's a lot of different ways people interpret that reality. It's like not reality, but that law of power. It's a lot of people that examine that and look at that in a different light. It's a lot of different perspectives for that particular law. Genzo, man, that's what you got to do. You always observe. See, we call it the one, do the knowledge. Like that's the foundation. So you always should be doing the knowledge to that person, which you should always be observing, studying, researching, collecting your data. You always do the knowledge to a person. Study their foundation. Study them. Study their ways and actions. Gotta do it. Gotta do it, man. That's important. Very important. Magic rims. And listen, that's how it is for a lot of us. That's how it is for a lot of us, man. That intuition is, especially when you in tune with yourself. When you in tune with yourself, that intuition is powerful. When you in tune with yourself, that intuition becomes powerful when you in tune with yourself. But a lot of people are not in tune with themselves, so their intuition is weak. Intuition is off. It's distorted. So they're not in tune. When you're not in tune with yourself, you're not in tune with what's around you. Master tool, use all of it. Use the heart, the mind, the logic, the emotion, all of that. Use it all collectively to make a decision, to reach a conclusion on that particular person. So use all of it. Oh yeah, ain't rule set. Yep. Yep. So gotta pay attention. If they say something, then see how they act according to what they are saying. Gotta do that. Genzo, no doubt. 1000%. Thunder Scorpion. Definitely for me. I'm always need the evidence. So I'm never just gonna stop at the intuition or that gut feeling. Gather my evidence. And we always essentially get that evidence to confirm it. We just overlook the evidence. But you're gonna get the evidence. Yeah, you always gonna gather that evidence. The evidence gonna be out there. The evidence gonna be out there. But never just want to take it on face value. Always gather your evidence. Because that evidence is powerful. Once you gather that evidence, now you really good. Now you really gonna feel comfortable making that decision because now you have your concrete evidence. So now it's really validated and confirmed and stamped. Master's tube. I mean, that's the way that it is, man, because we have been corrupted. We have been corrupted. So sadly enough, that's why I say it's rough being black in this particular country, man, because we have been corrupted to the point where it's hard for us to really let our guards down dealing with anybody, whether it's your own people, whether it's with white folks, whether it's with Asians, Arabs, no matter who we dealing with, we got to have them guards up. And it's sad that it has to be that way. But that's the nature of reality. That's why I say we got to look at reality for what it actually is, not what we want it to be. Not what we think it should be, because that's not the way that it is, man. So we got to have that guard up, unfortunately, because of what has happened to us. So we got to have that guard up all the time. Because like I said, we have been terribly corrupted. So you most definitely got to have that guard up, man, at all times. Got to have the guard up. Can't play around with them. Dominique, and see, you knew it for a reason. It was something that you not even picked up on, but it was something that you may have analyzed and observed that created that feeling. You know, so it was something that you analyzed, observed, due to your interactions or your just observation of that particular person that led to that conclusion or led to that feeling. But a lot of times, a lot of people overlook that, don't listen to it, and then that's when you end up in that bad situation that you regret because you regretting it. You regretting it because you knew that you shouldn't have did it. Oh yeah, DJ Elmo, it's a war on the inside, it's a war on the outside. It's a war everywhere, man. We gotta know and understand that we are definitely or indeed, in fact, at war. But man, with that being said, this was a powerful stream, man. This is a powerful stream. This went well, man. A lot of positive comments, a lot of powerful comments, nice interactions. We lost some subscribers, which is a good thing because that means we was talking some truth. We was talking some truth. The only way that you can lose some subscribers is somebody, not only did they see the title, but they had to tap in for a minute to hear what was being said. So that's when you know you doing things right and exact, when you talking and you losing people. When you talking and you losing people. So the people that unsubscribe, I know that they tapped in for a second, heard what was being said, and was like, whoa, what did I sign up for? Unsubscribe. So they were striking that nerve. That's what we here for. That's what we here for, man. We here to get that truth out. That truth don't really care about emotions and feelings. The truth just is. Truth ain't biased. Truth ain't biased at all. So we gonna drop it. We gonna drop it. It was some things that was mentioned that you can't go back and dispute. It was some things that mentioned that you could just look up and fact check what I said. So we already know how I go. But with that being said, man, this was powerful stream. I got to see what it's really looking like outside to see if I want to go make some moves today for the gym. So I got to go out here and deal with this cold and see what's really going on out here, man. So I'm going to go ahead and tap out for the day. Y'all be easy out here and enjoy the rest of this Tuesday, man. Get y'all some water in, get y'all some healthy foods in, get y'all some rest in, do some reading, journaling, all that good stuff, man. I'm out. If I don't tap in with y'all tomorrow, I will definitely drop a little quick video, and then I'll see y'all again on Thursday. But y'all be easy out here, y'all. I'm out, y'all. Appreciate donations, all the comments, questions. Y'all take it easy out here. Peace.